And then I play the numbers game, so I think every year I talk to at least 7,000 people. We're closed and pending right now, 75 deals to date. Brian does all of our buyers, so he does a lot of buyers, but he will take some listings also. I've taken about 65 listings this year. Brian's taken about 15.
All right, does anybody in this room do more than 75 deals a year? Okay. Michael and Brian wanted to know that, if anybody does more production, right? All right. So something that Michael just said that I wanted to cap on or add on to is you gotta win every hour of the day, right? So if you break it up into micro sectors, right? Like you're winning the day today, Tom, because you were up and dialing at 7:30. You were up and dialing. So you won that hour between 7:30 and 8:30. Don't you feel like you've already accomplished a great part of your day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so try to win every minute of the day, right? Whatever that looks like, right? 7 calls, 10 calls. All right, so what these two are gonna do this is, so I'm way behind. So you guys have been listening to the wrong guy in this sector. They get 4 times more conversations than I do in 1 hour. So we both were dialing for 1 hour, right? And I'm doing the old school because I call from, and they do too. I call from my cell phone, then I text, then I either decide to door knock or email, right? Watch these guys. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna turn, we're gonna continue the meeting, but they're gonna both turn on their phones and these calls are being made automatically for them. And then one of them is gonna raise their hand and that's when we all be quiet. The meeting stops then and we're listening to their conversation. Does everybody get the game plan? Okay, so we're gonna practice. So let's just do a practice round. Let's say you guys' auto dialers are on.
Okay.
And then, yeah, go ahead.
What dialers do you use?
What dialers do you use?
I use Red X.
Red X?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
I like that one, and my dialer does 1 call at a time.
Sweet.
And I've been doing this Mike Ferry system with him for a little over a year. He's been doing it for a decade now, and he uses Mojo.
Mojo dialer, yeah.
Yeah, so Mojo dials 3 numbers at a time,
Right.
and then when one picks up, it cancels the other one.
Right.
And just before we get on the phone too, like, and I don't know if you guys have any questions or if you want to handle most of them at the end, but I think one thing that I've learned too is that, I mean, where I'm probably, and there's always different ways to get business, but the system that I've learned from Mike Ferry is just kind of the way I operate my business is it's something that I can predict and I can duplicate. So if you think most agents, let's say even if you're just holding open houses, is that always duplicatable? Is that something you can predict and is it duplicatable? And I don't do open houses, so I don't know. Maybe there is a system, but for me, I know if I talk to about 60 people, I'm gonna take a listing. After I've talked to about 60 people. It's a numbers game. So if I know how many listings I'm gonna take a month, I know how many people I have to talk to a month, I know how many people I have to talk to that day. And then just another quick principle is that do people like rejection? No, people don't like rejection. And so most real estate agents that you're competing with, they're going and doing every activity they can to avoid rejection. And a quote I always like is, well, everyone else is trying to avoid rejection, I'm out trying to get as much as I can because I found the more rejection, the more money. Okay?
Closer you are to that, yes.
Right.
Right.
So again, I know I need to talk to 60 people before I need to talk to about 40 to 45 to get an appointment. I'm taking about 70% of the listing appointments I go on. So I need to talk to about 60 people to take a listing. So that's a good way to look at it. If you can get used to the rejection, and all of us get rejected. If any of you have kids or are married, you're getting rejected all the time. Okay?
On your calls, I know on Red X, you can, do you phase out the do not calls or do you call them?
Oh, they're the best ones.
Yeah. So I've talked to about 7. So if you think about it, 7,000 to 8,000 people a year for 10 years. That's 70,000 to 8,000 people. I've had maybe out of that many people, I've maybe had 5 threaten me, and I've never had an issue.
Yeah, you get people scream at you, yell at you, and all that, leave you crazy voicemails, and then I don't keep calling them, but if they're on there, we call them. So.
And then one thing too that I know we kind of talked about in the video that went out was that it's not just the calling too. Like, what makes it that Brian or I can get a listing after somebody has called them after they've already talked to 30 people? You need to know what to say. And I would guess in our business, probably 90% of agents, they don't know what to say when they get an objection. So, and another thing like Dale, I mean, Dale's been in the business 20 plus years and he said the same thing here from everybody else. The objections haven't changed in 20 years. So you need to know what to say when that objection comes. And if you know what to say, you're gonna be more confident. And it just separates you from the competition. Okay, so Susie, who got her license 2 years ago because the market's good, she puts a home on the market overpriced, takes pictures with her iPhone. We call them and we know what to say to get the appointment again there and get the home sold.
Yeah, no, don't let that freeze you though. So the engineers in the room will say,
Yeah.
oh, now I can't call because I don't know how to overcome the objections, right? So it's the same thing as in golf when you stand over the ball too long, right? You just gotta go, right? So don't let that drunk monkey, oh, now I can't call because I don't know all the objection handlers. You know why? Because you don't know where the call is gonna go. They might, all the 50,000 objections you have, they might say, hey, it didn't sell because I got a full price offer and I chose not to sell. What are you gonna do with that? That's 51,001 objection, right? So then you're like, oh. Well, what you would say is, all right, you got the right offer at the wrong time. When do you think is gonna be the right time? Oh, good question. Man, I would have done it, but my dad died. Right? You don't know what happens, right? Okay. How long do you, depending on where you go for that, hey, I'm really sorry about that. That's really sad news. Do you mind if I call you in 120 days? Yeah, you call me in 120 days. Great. I'm going to send you some information and my shared contact. What's your email address? Right? So you always make sure you get something from them in the phone call. Who was it the other day? Not picking on you. Nicole, the guy finally called her back. We had a live one on the line. We landed it, right? We're fighting this fish, right? We're going back and forth. The guy calls her back and says, hey, you got to book the appointment with my assistant, right? Nicole calls me back and says, now we're waiting for his assistant. And no big deal, right? We're all learning in here. And I said, Nicole, when he called you back, did you ask for the assistant's phone number?
He didn't call though, he texted.
Okay, whatever it was. So you text, then you text right back and say, what's your assistant's phone number? Because we had about 3 days downtime between him, about 3 days, between him saying, you gotta book my appointment with the assistant. And then within that 3 days, once we thought to the assistant level, right? Because it takes time for her to get back with me, he had chosen an agent. Go. Okay?
Do you mind if I share with you what I would say in that situation?
Yeah, please.
So what was it again?
So he texts back.
Like, no, you said earlier, you said, I had a full price offer and I didn't take it.
Oh, I was just making that shit up.
Okay, so in that situation, what I would do, and here's the beauty of this. This is how simple it is. There's scripts. And you can get these on Mike Ferry's website. But if somebody, a lot of these times, when they tell you something like that, probably some of them might just be giving you some smoke screen, or they call it a reflex no. So if you listen to us, if we get a live one, or if we talk more in detail, there's a couple things that would help. If you can read and you do these 2 or 3 things, you could start calling today, okay? You want to mirror and match, okay? That's the first one. Write that term down, mirror and match.
That's like the biggest thing right there. When I learned that about a year ago, that was the biggest
See,
thing.
Brian was awesome. I like picking up Brian because he was calling for 2 years, and he didn't know what to say or how to say it, but he did it.
Yeah, I didn't have a script. I was just calling.
He was just winging it, okay? But he had really no skill set, okay? But these are here, mirror match. You call somebody and they're happy, you're happy with them. You call somebody and they're pissed, you're pissed with, you're not pissed at them, you're pissed with them. 30 agents have called you today, oh my goodness.
Oh God, I gotta work with these bozos every day.
You know, I
So if you sold
can't
the house,
imagine
where
having,
would you go next?
and then you repeat and affirm, or you mirror and match. So that's the first one, mirror and match. The second one is repeat and affirm. So I've talked to 30 agents today. They say that. You repeat what they said. 30 agents. And then you affirm it. 30 agents. Ouch. And then you read the next question on the script. And that right there will separate you probably from 90%.
So
Okay?
that's just like the first no out the gate when they don't want to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they immediately gonna say no.
Right.
But then you
plan on
just,
doing
and if you
right
can,
agent.
Dale talked about
We're
it.
not.
Yeah, 90% of this, 95% of this is in your head. If you can just shut your thoughts off, mirror and match, repeat and affirm, read the next question. If you can do that, a monkey, if you did this for 2 hours a day, you talk 20 people a day, I don't care who you are, a monkey could sell 20 homes a year. If you just did those 3 things. Shut your brain off, okay? It's just same thing, like you said, what about the do not call register? Somebody asks me that normally, or if an agent says I won't because of that, that's awesome for me, great. Because you're letting that fear control your activities. If I've been doing this for 10 years and never had one issue, and you might do it for an hour a month, you're gonna be safe. But if you let that stop you, you're gonna be in trouble. So, again, it's just mirror match, repeat and affirm, ask the next question. I have literally had brand new agents come listen to me and I just read right through the script and get an appointment. That may or may not happen today, but those
The
are
best
those are
time to
things.
dial is first thing in the morning, because by this time they've just been getting crushed with calls. So that 7:45 till 9 is huge, and then after that they get killed with calls. Then it's good for the ones that just got off of work, 5 to 7 o'clock at night.
But then we also call for sell by owners, and I think the big thing on the first sell by owner script that I've learned is I really want to know. And you still do the same thing. You repeat and affirm, you ask the next question. That's why the motivation's key. You've got all these agents telling you how good they are, how good their company is. They don't care. But if you can call and say, I'm going to get you by the grandkids. So I don't know if you just want to hit on the prospecting aspect of it, but then there's also same kind of objections you get at a listing presentation. So I don't know if you want to just start dialing, or if you guys want to go over some objections, however you want to
Yeah, it's
delete it.
different how you handle it on the phone or in person, because
Yeah.
we're just trying to get in front of them. So
That's one thing
if
on
they're
the
talking
phone
about
that's
commission,
important.
we're not talking commission on the phone.
Right.
We're not saying
Right.
6%. That's it, because they're gonna hang up.
Keep
Alright,
this
so-
in mind, prospect for appointments, not leads. Okay? People cultivate these leads that they're gonna call for 6 months to a year. You wanna go meet with somebody. I'm not selling a home for 90 days. You're not selling a home for 90 days, I understand. When you sell it 90 days, where would you go next? Well, we'd like to get to the grandkids. You'd wanna get to the grandkids. Now, how soon would you like to be there? Well, we were hoping to be there 30 days ago. And you just keep asking the questions. And if they say, hey, listen, I told you, we're not selling for 90 days. I'm not even talking about selling. What I'm calling you for is to see if I can get 10 minutes of your time, let me see the house, share with you what other sellers are going to get the most out of their home in the quickest amount of time. That is what you want, right?
Nice.
I'm not selling for 90 days. Don't sell for 90 days. Let me give you some information. You can compare it to what your last agent did. And then when you're ready in 90 days, you'll have a plan ready. Are usually early or later afternoons better for you? So, again, we're not telling them how many homes. I mean, sometimes this comes up, but the agents call and say, my company is the best. I'm the best. They hear that all day long. But if you say, hey, I have some information that'll help you get to the grandkids before Christmas. Can you see the difference in that? And that's,
Yeah, it's
and
gotta be about
sales,
them.
just sales is, I mean, a lot of times, Brian and I, we talk about this all the time, it's a constant battle. I mean, we're not perfect, but if you start talking too much, you've lost them. Selling is not telling. Selling is asking questions, whether it's on the phone or on an appointment.
And everyone's different. You have some guys that are a driver that are straight to the point, boom, 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 and you gotta be quick or they hang up on you. Some people, they just want to talk. They just want to talk, and you just sit there and listen. You can ask them 2 questions for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's
and we have
based on
different.
the people's personality types. Some people you gotta be boom, 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 and set the appointment right away.
Yeah.
No, if they get chatting, don't interrupt them.
Yeah.
Let them talk.
Let
yeah.
them talk. That's the best.
Yeah, it's
Ask
the same
another
thing.
question. Let them talk more.
It's the same thing. I always relate it to something, right? Basketball, football, fishing. Who fishes?
Sure.
All right, when you get that hit and you grab the reel and you don't let that fish run, the fish is right off the hook. So let them run. Let them run.
Oh, that's good.
Tire them out.
Wear 'em down.
Yep, wear them down, right? All right, so let's do this. Raise your hand. It's a live situation, all right? Hit Brian with an objection. So expire to cancel listening. Hit Brian with an objection, just live objection. Go ahead.
Just right away, huh? Not go to the pro.
No,
Um,
No, I'm
on
gonna
the
have
phone
them.
or in person?
Yeah, we need to know if it's an appointment or over the phone.
Over
Okay,
the phone.
over the phone.
Over the phone, okay.
All right, Scott, you go. Hit
How
with
come
it.
you never showed my property before it was listed?
How come I never showed your property? Well, I'm actually working the hardest for my listings. I'm not a buyer's agent.
None of your,
You can
none of
understand
your
that,
company,
right?
nobody in your company showed my house.
Nobody in my company
What makes you
shows
think
your
you
house.
can sell my house?
What makes me think I can sell your house? So how many showings did you have on the property?
We had 20.
You had 20, okay. Looks like a great property. I mean, what happened?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Our agent kept telling us, lower the price, lower the price.
Just hitting you with price reductions. Gotcha. I mean, what was the agent doing that you liked best?
Actually, the communication was fine, but all he wanted to do was lower the price.
They just kept wanting to lower the price.
He
Okay.
never showed me any of his marketing.
Really? No
Other
market
than a sign in the front yard and a brochure that was printed up by a title company, that was it.
title company. That's it. Okay. You know, a lot of sellers in your position will interview 2 or 3 new agents and compare marketing plans. Is that something that could benefit you?
I think a marketing plan would be great to look at.
Marketing plan would be great. I want to be in that area tomorrow. What's best, 1 or 3 o'clock?
I get home at 9 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock at night. My goodness, I'll be there at 8:59.
Tomorrow at 5, can you be here?
Wow, that was phenomenal. I love the way you did exactly what you said in listening to him, repeating it back, so you could re-strategize where you're going. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, that's something he taught me, that if you just say something, then they know you're listening. Because if you just go right to the next question, you're just blurting stuff out. Or if you just say something that they said, they're gonna immediately think that you're listening. And when I learned this, I do it to my wife. I mean, I do it to my buddies.
Yeah, what husband couldn't use better listening skills, right? Better listening skills, yeah.
Sorry, honey, I'm practicing on you. Trying to make money.
It also gives you time to think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It gives you a second to think too.
My questions to you, you repeated, which I like.
Yeah, and if
Because I
they're
knew
talking
you knew
fast,
what
you
I
talk
said.
fast. If they're kind of chill, talking slow, you talk slow. Just that's that mirror image. So
One thing he did awesome on that call, if you didn't see that, once someone's in agreement with you, when he said, yeah, marketing plan would be nice,
just go
close.
to the close. Don't even.
Anytime you're in front of somebody, a buyer, you know, I agree with you. This kitchen is exactly what we wanted. Yeah, I agree with you. What do you want to offer? What price should we offer? Close them. Anytime they agree with you.
How do you deal with the volume of cleanup? You've got to have support people doing all the other parts of the business.
Right, and that's a
How
good
many-
point.
How many people does it take to do what? And I find that when I get successful, I get, 1 or 2 listings, and then I'm,
busy doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, so let me ask you this: as real estate agents, what is your highest? This is a good question. So if I understand it correctly, is how do you handle all the admin? I mean, is that a big problem in our industry? You get 2 or 3 pendings and you're managing that deal, and then you're done. You got to start over again, right?
yeah.
Okay, write down this acronym: PLAN. Prospect, lead follow-up, appointments, and negotiating. If you want to maximize how much money you make, I don't know how. Everyone's got different goals. I don't care what people say. You know, did a lot of people get into the real estate business because they wanted a little more free time?
What was it? What were those again?
Plan, lead,
The A is
follow-up.
appointments.
Plan, prospect,
Prospect,
lead, follow-up,
follow-up.
appointments.
appointments, and negotiate. 70 to 85% of your time, if you want to maximize the money you make. And again, everyone has their own goals. Some people just want to set their own schedule. I'm trying to make as much money as I can in the quickest amount of time and do as many deals as I can. I'm trying to reach my potential. Okay? I'm not trying to compare myself to anybody other than myself. I want to do better than I did yesterday. I want to do better than I did last year. Okay? 75 to 80% of your time should be involved in those 3 things. Okay?
3.
4. Sorry. I'm glad you guys were listening. That's good. That was a test. So, I have a guy. I have a mentor in. He's in Redding, California. His name's Josh Barker. If you look him up, he's a top Remax agent. He does have a team of about 10 to 12 people, and he owns his own brokerage. But they're all members of his team, and he'll do probably about 600 to 700 deals this year. And he was my coach once.
Who is that?
Josh Barker. Barker. And one time and so this guy, if you ever talk to him, he's about a year older than me. I'm 43, and when I talk to him, you would swear you're talking to a 50 to 60-year-old CEO. The guy's just sharp. He's a former sniper for the Marines. Okay.
Where
The
is
guy's
it?
just dialed in. Redding, California.
Now I know why everybody listens.
Okay. Yeah. Sign right here.
Super down to earth guy. I mean, he's
Yeah. He asked me this once. He said, "Now, where do you think your highest?" And he's just real direct. I loved it because I'm kind of like that too. Where do you make your most money? He asked me that question. Okay. And I said, prospecting and appointments. He said, half of that's right. He said, you make your most money. Look at that, PLAN. What do you think? Where do you make the most money?
Lead follower.
That's what I thought. Prospecting lead followers. He said, nope, it's appointments.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
And then he said to me, "All right, how many are you going on a week?" And I said, 3 to 4. And he goes, "Is that enough?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Fix it." Okay. So I'm
What's
still.
enough?
one every day.
Depends. Depends, okay? I just did the math. About
What's enough?
315 people sign a listing agreement a day
In Maricopa County.
in our MLS.
315.
About 315 a
315
day. Okay? So if you can't get, I want to, I'm thinking big. I'm not there yet. But I don't know why there's not a reason why I can't get a listing a day. My highest listing year, I think I took 96. I'm not even close to where I want to be. Okay? But the point I'm trying to make is, it's that whole leverage piece, right? From my perspective, and you may not be there, and it just depends on your goal. It took me a while to learn this, and everybody's different. I grew up in kind of a conservative family, don't spend money, but I got to the point where it was really dumb for me to be doing 12 to 15 hours, so we have an assistant. I guess that's a long answer to your question, but I'm trying to delegate everything. Right now, I'm just trying to delegate everything but appointments. But eventually, I'd like to get to the piece where I'm just going on appointments. So you've got to be able to make sure that admin stuff is you either outsource it or you have a daily schedule. Okay? And the most important time for me is from the time I wake up till about noon. Okay? If I'm dialed in on a daily schedule, I get up in the morning, I work out, I read some inspirational stuff, I role play, 15 to 30 minutes, and then I'm on the phone by about 7:40. And if I'm dialed in between 7:40 till about 11:30, I don't need to worry about my afternoon. It takes care of itself. Okay, so you need to have a daily schedule. If you're gonna do admin stuff, try to do it in the afternoon. There's nothing in your personal life or business life that unless it's a crisis, that can't wait until afternoon.
What's the percentage of your GCI that you cover in overhead, cost you in overhead?
That's a good question. I think I'd have to go look at it, but I'm probably just 25%. So there's 3 ways to make money in this business, right? You can wait for it, you can pay for it, or you can go earn it. Most of my time's out and just going out and earn it. You gotta spend some money, right?
Lori, write that down. Wait for it,
yeah.
pay for it.
Wait for it, pay for it, or go earn it, right? I had lunch with a guy the other day that was a guy who used to work with me, and he's right now about gross 300,000 commission, and he said he's maybe getting 40% of that,
And what do you figure you're getting?
about 75.
So he's got a lot of overhead with
Yeah.
marketing. and
He's- yeah.
that kind of-
Well, there are
farming,
some
spends a
speakers
lot of
that you guys are maybe hear or know of or do where they pay $10,000-$15,000 a month on Zillow leads.
Yeah.
And the reason why they do that is they can't do this.
Well, and that's the problem, I
That's
think, in
going
our
away in a
business.
couple weeks,
Yeah,
so-
well, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've actually had to give a lot of shift again, and a lot of it's I have had to change my mindset, okay? But the problem is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of times people are trying to avoid what we do, so they'll spend the money, okay? Now, I'm under the impression now that I'm making some money, I'm okay to spend 10,000, make 30. But if you're brand new to the business, this is Josh Barker, who's selling 600 to 700 homes a year. This was his foundation. He busted his ass for 5 to 6 years talking to 50 to 60 people a day, and now he only prospects about an hour a day.
What do you spend on advertising? What did you spend when you were broke?
The only thing I would have started as a brand new agent was paying for a source to pull my leads, and then signs and brokerage and stuff like
The
that.
Red X that you use, it's like $250 a month, right?
This one's $250 a month because I have the Geo where I can
Geo.
pull numbers
You
for a
have the,
specific neighborhood.
Well, I have Red X and I have the other program. it's 160, but I don't have the dialer.
Yeah, I have the dialer. I just dial one because his does 3 at a time. I like the one for whatever reason. I think it's based on your
Yeah.
personal preference, and I have the title company paying for it now. But
Hey.
at first,
You gotta,
I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
Remind them how many deals you're doing?
I don't know if I'm supposed to
I'm
say
sure she'd pay for it if you were bringing her business.
You gotta put the bait on the hook in order to get the fish.
So now we're back to that subject about how
influential.
influential can you be, right?
Yeah.
So some agents wake up every day and they say, hey, listen, if I know I can employ 5 people per day, then I'll be employed. Plumbers, electricians, right? And then hold those title companies, bankers, and then hold those people accountable saying, hey, quid pro quo, right? You're hearing that a lot right now with Trump.
Yeah.
So, and I think a couple phrases that I think might help your mind at least grasp what we're doing is, number one is it's simple, but it's not easy. Okay, and the other thing is the system works when you do.
It just has to be consistent though, 'cause I have buddies that do this like 2 or 3 days a month, and it just doesn't work. If you do it 5, 6 days a week, you'll have 2 weeks of people screaming at you, and it's the worst. And then one day you get 2 listings, make 15 grand.
Yeah, the consistency's big.
It's all
Like I
about-
said, that's probably my biggest strength, because like a lot of you might kill me on a listing appointment, might know what to say. You know, you might have more enthusiasm, better looking, whatever. But I will do it every day. So Brian's right. I could go 2 weeks, not even go on maybe 2 appointments. I could show up the next day. I set 3 appointments. I take 2 listings the next day. Like, you just don't know.
What's your schedule? Where do you get your phone numbers? I mean, are you geo-farming phone numbers, or are you?
Red X.
Red X pulls.
Expired.
Red X. It's
Cancel.
called Red X.
But don't you have to
Vortex.
tell Redex who to call though?
They give you like parameters, like they tell them what cities we want.
Yeah.
So what do you
You
do?
can
Do you-
make different searches on there. So when I first started in the morning, I just pull the ones for today. The
Well, what are
brand
they?
new
What do you
ones.
have pulled?
Cancel expired, it's the first ones they call. And then we do FISBOs later on and past clients. But canceled expireds have to be done at the latest 8 a.m.
Do you
And
have
you
your-
do the whole county?
We don't like to go more than a 30-minute drive from our office, but we will.
Yeah.
But ideally, we like to do Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, Queen Creek, Santan, Maricopa, because we're at the Chandler office.
Do you do
But,
any? Do you do any filtering by price of home?
No.
I watch these fellas, this is the second day I've spent with them. And they don't care what the price range is, they get people on the phone and they don't even introduce themselves. Hey, I see your home went off the market, when are you gonna hire the next professional agent, something like that.
When are you
It's
gonna hire
go,
The
go,
right,
go.
right agent?
And
Yeah, if you,
right,
if you
right.
sit there and say, hey, how you doing today? Click. They don't. They don't.
Yeah,
wanna-
they don't care
you
about
gotta
how
go
today-
there.
No, and I like to open up with Scott,
Yeah.
Brad,
Yeah.
right? You
I
shock
always
him a
say
little
I'm
bit.
looking
Tom.
for Scott.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
Big
for
says
Brad.
Scott.
But I had a guy do
and
that
the guy
before.
answers, yeah.
Someone picks up. Hello, Brad.
And he's like, because the first thing you're thinking, dude, we had a golf game today.
Right.
Right? Right? Because they're like, whoa, this guy knows me, right? And then you go right into, hey, this is a unique call. I normally, whatever your first attention getter is, but that first, 15 seconds is crucial, right? So pound them with something.
Yeah,
And I saw some people think like you just pound the phone, you're cold calling. Like I call canceled expireds, I call for sale by owners, and I call 5 to 10 past clients a day.
All right, why don't you
Past
guys,
client or center of influence.
why don't you guys turn them on? Turn them on.
Okay.
And then now we're continuing the meeting. Once one of them puts their hands up, guys, you gotta pay, just quiet, right? Because everybody wants to hear what they're saying.
And like I said, I'll probably call some older ones to get some pickups.
So what I would like,
Yeah, actually, we call the freshies. They're probably not picking up right now.
I would like a system where.
But even if we give you 2 or 3 calls,
That sounds like an excuse to me.
True. We need to keep him at the office.
yeah, let's just.
Come on, Chandler.
I try to, and if you, when you're dialing, I average about 10 contacts an hour.
they have
Out of how
those
many
boxes.
I just count the contacts.
Okay.
I don't know how many calls. That'd be interesting to look up.
Deals I'll get.
If I'm talking to 2 to 3 people an hour, I'm either talking too long or I'm using, I'm like on a rotary dial. You know what I mean? Remember those?
Well, the 3 of us filed this morning for 2 hours, and I think, what did I speak to, like 6 people, and I made
Nice.
50-some phone calls? and you guys were just dialing and getting.
Wait, you mean 50, like this way?
Yeah, right, and I was slow, these guys are
Oh, I
doing
know.
the
At least it
program.
wasn't like this.
But I was scrubbing the sheet and doing past old expireds, and what, I get 4 leads off the phone today.
I mean, I've gotten
Yeah,
this broken
that's fine.
down.
Older ones
This is all
too.
stuff I've just learned from Mike Ferry, but like, I mean, I make $70 per person I talk to.
So you wanna talk to like 50 people a day?
I mean, it's all, that's the thing. Repeatable and duplicatable. After you've tracked your numbers for 90 days, and I've got 10 years, you know, and once you get better, once your skill set, there's kind of a learning curve, but once you track your numbers, you know what you can do. So if you know when to sell X amount of homes per year, I know exactly what I need to do that day. I
What
can
are the
track
first
that.
2 things you would suggest that somebody that doesn't have any business like myself would do?
Get those objection handlers and scripts off of MikePerry.com. They're free, just under the resources tab. And read them and write them down. That's what I started doing. Every night I would write them down because that's how I learned. But however, maybe read them is better for you.
So that, and also with the brand new
Role play with
agent,
somebody?
yeah, role play's big. Even like, I
15
mean,
minutes
when
a
I
day.
started, I would role play with my wife. She thought it was the dumbest thing ever. And I'm talking role play scripts. That's what we were role playing.
You know,
So would you get a
You wouldn't want
dialer?
to do the other kind.
Would you get a dialer to start?
Let's be
you
clear.
would.
Depend, if you want to serve at the highest level, yeah. But I mean, if you can't, I know what it's like, brand new. If you don't have the money,
Those scripts that you guys use from Ferry, those are proven,
Oh, money.
NLP or whatever,
Yeah,
neuro-linguistic. One of Ferry's sons is
Yeah, Tom.
Tom. And what's the other one? He's in,
I didn't know he
he's
had
in
one.
Hawaii. Well, he's the guy who came up with the scripts.
there's
Oh, okay.
there's
There's 3 boys.
Patrick
Oh.
works for Tom, and then there's the other one. I can't remember his name.
He's in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Junior?
kind of a chubby dude.
That's Hawaii.
I can't believe I'm drunk. He's the guy that came up with the drunk monkey.
Yeah, he wrote the book.
I don't know if I'm getting into this right or what. Is there like a says username and password?
Oh, she's got.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get it to go.
All right, so if you guys look, the average consumer says no 5 times before they say yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can type.
So you guys have heard, yeah. So you got to be ready for I'm not selling, right? Okay, so if you were selling, where are you going to go to next? Or if you did sell, where were you moving to, right?
You have your home number.
Yeah. All right. So you got to be ready for that stuff. Our industry, after the first no, 70% of you gone. So everybody, while they're logging in, everybody raise your hand. Everybody raise your hand. Down, 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 down. Okay, now, next no. So they said no. Keep your hands up. Down, 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 down. Okay. Third no. Down, down, down. Fourth no. Down. That's what's left.
Wow.
That's it, out of everybody in this room. So think about that. If the average, some of them are gonna say 10, right? So keep your hands up. Was yours up?
Yes.
Down. Tom was like, I want to
I've been up since 7:30 this morning,
Hi,
dying
Cory. I'm calling about the house here on Greenbrier. Are you the owner? Really? Yeah, it's right here on. Three years. Yeah, it's right there. 6439 West Greenbrier. You know anything about that house?
It's the wrong number.
You used to live there. Oh, okay. Yeah, my name's Brian Pankow here with Remax. I can go ahead and take you off of that list. Well, I have you on the phone. Do you know anybody looking to buy or sell that I can help out? Thank you. Have a good day.
So I don't know if you want to stop and talk after him too, or just
Sure.
keep going. So
Yeah,
one thing that Brian,
but if you,
I'm just saying this because I'm putting
Yeah.
him. Yeah, I can put mine on speaker too. Brian's just coachable, so he's awesome. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but one good thing that these
He's way
scripts,
better. I'm still learning.
these scripts, if you heard that with an open, the question he asked her was yes or no. You want to do the best you can to ask questions that aren't yes or no. So wrong number. You lived there 10 years ago, no problem. When do you plan on moving? You know, you can't, when do you plan on moving? You can't say yes or no to that. They'll think you're crazy. When do you plan on moving? No, what, that doesn't sound right, right? Or who do you know? He said, you know, do you know anybody? It was a yes or no.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Who do
is
you
the
know?
lady that said when you have some balls, call me back.
Speaker.
This is Mike. Yeah, well, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I appreciate you calling back. Did you, ma'am?
What is this about?
You bet. Let me tell you. Did you have a home that recently came off the market in Arizona?
I live in Illinois.
Illinois?
Arizona.
Oh, my
And I
goodness.
Heather and all these other people that work at RE/MAX that I don't have a property in Arizona. I'm living in Illinois. You're calling Illinois.
Right, Illinois. Jeez, Heather. Gosh. Okay, let me see if I can talk to Heather.
Every day,
Uh-huh.
and you give me the same spiel that, oh my God, we won't call you anymore, and you call me 10 times a day.
Gosh, no, yeah, that's Heather's fault.
To the person
Yeah.
who owns RE/MAX.
Mm-hmm. He's sitting right here. His name's Dale Ramos.
I keep calling.
Right, right. You know what I'm gonna do, and I can't.
Work for RE/MAX in Illinois. So
Oh.
let me speak to whoever's in charge of you and Heather and whoever else calls me.
Right, right. Gosh, because I don't even know the owner. I mean, just in Arizona alone, there's over 20 offices. So what I'm gonna do right now, this is the number I'm dialing. I just
I'll find out who the owner
Do
is.
it,
I have
do
your
it.
number,
Yeah.
I have Heather's number. Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Good.
Don't call me here again.
You bet. You know what I just did, ma'am? I just deleted you out of my system.
Where's my phone number from?
I don't either. I think it was Heather's fault. Listen, do you know anybody in Illinois that, you know, who do you know in Illinois that might be looking to buy or sell right now?
Absolutely
Nobody.
Stop.
Gosh. All right, have a good day. I get these voicemails from people. Every now and then, this doesn't happen a lot. See, the problem is too, again, don't let something like that scare you. Okay, that hardly ever happens.
Let's all get her number.
That hardly ever happens, but I'm so funny. This lady said you've been calling me for days, and she said if you have any balls, call me back. And I have a library of these. I've got like 4 or 5 buddies
Why don't you
that
call
are
her
good
back
friends
and
of mine.
say, "Hey,
And whenever I
I'm
get
the
these
balls,
voicemails, I
they're
send them to them. They love it. I had like this guy you can tell from the Middle East. He's like, "I'll come over there and slit your throat." But that was not good for you guys to hear because, like I said, I get a call like that. I maybe get a call like that every other week.
Yeah.
So don't let that like
No.
freak you out.
No, and I
if you
love-
call these guys with enthusiasm and you repeat and affirm,
Yep.
you're gonna be better than all these other bozos that call. Okay?
Well, and I love the way you stayed on strip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
glad.
blame it on
You
him.
know anybody who wants to
Yeah,
sell?
I was mad.
Every couple months.
Remember that Heather name too.
I was waiting for you to hand it to Dell.
I saw a bingo game where like
Yeah, I like the way you threw me on the bus. Yeah, tell me.
where like things that we just like bingo.
His name's Dale Reynolds. Google him. Google him. The guy's a total jerk.
Did you text her? Have you
Okay.
texted her yet?
Total jerk.
All right, so I can tell you guys right now, nobody's gonna get this meeting today. So that tape's going in the fireplace.
Okay, all right.
Just cut and edit the
No,
last part.
it's no going nowhere.
Yeah, but the front end of it
No.
was good. Their
No,
conversation.
no, if they weren't here, they don't get it.
Oh.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean we're gonna get it?
Nobody's
No,
getting